Hey there kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and I just wanted to take a quick second to tell you guys about our sponsor that's helping us keep the lights on before we move on to tonight's story. Vikings, War of Clans, counts 10 times more Viking players today than actual Vikings that ever lived. 20 million players in the mobile game. It's pretty incredible, and here's some reasons to download Vikings right now. Finally, there's a game that's a perfect mix of 3D graphics and smooth gameplay. Vikings' massive online battles will get you hooked after 5 minutes of playing, and it's the first strategy RPG game filled with detailed pictures of the Vikings' ancient world. You can also find me in the game by the name MrCreepyPasta, so don't waste your time. Install Vikings right now using the link below, and you'll get 200 gold, protection shields, and your place in Valhalla for free. That's everything, guys. Enjoy tonight's story, and sweet dreams. Two nights ago, I was home alone when Alexa laughed. I'd read about the software issue that the device had been having all over the world, so it wasn't that big of a shock. Thank God for that, because I would have jumped out of my skin otherwise. Still, I was unsettled. It was creepy to hear laughter when you think you're alone. "Alexa, shut up!" I instructed. The blue ring on top flashed, and the laughing stopped. I went back to my book. 20 minutes later, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Alexa's blue ring illuminate, as if she'd received a command. I studied her for a few seconds and shrugged it off. 30 seconds later, her light came on again.
Okay, Peter. J.A. Henkel's 5-piece stainless steel knife set is on its way. You should have it in a couple days.
Oh, come on, I complained. I put my book down, I grabbed my laptop, I navigated to Amazon, checked my orders page, and it was empty. Then I checked my account information on the Alexa device, wondering if my Alexa had paired with someone else's account. And it hadn't. Great, I thought. Free knives, thanks, Pete. Wherever you are. And I'm back to my reading. Probably wasn't the best subject matter to be consuming while I was already a little shaken. Far too many mushrooms and people peeling off their skin. As I reached the end of my chapter, Alexa laughed again. It sounded different than it had the first time. The first time, it was mechanical, emotionless, just like her voice. This time it was lower, deeper, as if it had breath in it. The hairs on my arms stood on edge. Screw this, I thought. I got up to shut her off, and as I crossed the room, her lights flashed.
Okay, Peter. 4 units of Clorox bleach 121-ounce bottles is on its way. You should have it in a couple days.
I stopped in my tracks, and I stared at the device. This is so stupid, I said to myself. You freaked out because of that stupid book, and you're letting it make you superstitious. Don't be an idiot. I turned around and I checked the time. It was almost midnight. I needed to take a shower before bed. I sighed and I headed for the bedroom. After a quick shower, I was toweling off and thinking about what I had to do at work the next day when Alexa started to talk again. I couldn't hear her very well through the bathroom door, but I recognized her voice. It didn't sound like she was reciting an order. It almost sounded like a conversation. I cracked open the door and I listened. The voices stopped. I could see her blue light reflecting off the wall. "Alexa," I called. "What are my active orders?"
You have no active orders. Is there something you'd like to get?
"No," I said. Her light went off. I watched TV in bed for a little while, hoping that I'd get tired enough to fall asleep. It wasn't working. I couldn't stop thinking about this stupid device. I wasn't going to shut it down, though. I wasn't going to give in to my baseless fear. I'm an adult, damn it. During my 3rd Frasier rerun, I finally felt myself getting ready to fall asleep. I turned off the TV and I closed my eyes.
Okay, Peter. Sunshades Depot 5x7 tarp is on its way. You should have it in a couple days.
My eyes snapped open. "Enough of this," I muttered, and I bolted out of bed. When my feet hit the floor, Alexa began to laugh again. It was loud this time, and just as deep as it had been the first time. She sounded like a large man cruelly laughing at an offensive joke. The blue light was bright in my eyes as I reached for the plug.
Okay, Peter. Osborne International wire brush is on.
I took the plug from the outlet and Alexa went silent. The light went out. I stormed back into my room and I slammed the door. I think I slept for about an hour. The next day when I got home from work, I ran into my landlady. We're friendly with each other. She's only a few years older, and we have drinks every so often, so I invited her in, telling her that I needed a few beers after what I dealt with the night before. What happened? Toshi inquired, sitting down at the kitchen table and cracking open that beer that I'd given her. So you know that Amazon Alexa thing? I asked, pointing in that direction. Oh yeah, she replied. My sister has one. You hear about how some people are reporting that it laughs? Yeah. Well, that's what mine does, I exclaimed. No way, she said, laughing. That must be scary as hell. Maybe, I admitted. I mean, it feels silly to be scared of something like that, right? No way, she insisted. She took a swig of her beer. I would have thrown it out the window. I laughed. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think about it. Especially when the other things started happening. Toshi's eyebrows perked up. Other things? Like what? Oh, nothing as creepy as a laugh, I replied. It was just announcing orders from someone else's account. I think wires got crossed or something. Oh, that's crazy, Toshi said. You know whose account? Yeah, some guy named Peter. He was ordering knives and brushes and stuff. Toshi paused mid-drink. She looked at me, her smile slipping from her face. Peter? She replied. Yeah, why, do you know him? Toshi stood up. The expression on her face was the polar opposite of what it had been only seconds before. She looked frightened. Tosh, what's going on? Look, before you moved in, I rented this apartment to a guy named Peter. Yeah? And? She stared into my eyes almost like she didn't want to say it. Tosh, it's just... He killed himself. About 6 months before you signed your lease here. My blood went cold. He killed himself. Here, in this apartment? So she nodded. Why? What happened? Was he depressed? What? She shook her head. No, it's worse. Tell me, Tosh! She paused and took a deep breath. I glared at her insistently. He killed himself when the police found his pregnant girlfriend's body in the swamp on the other side of town. She'd been stabbed to death and wrapped in a tarp. Later, the investigators found that he had drained all of her blood into the bathtub, cleaned the whole thing up with bleach. I found myself getting dizzy. I parroted. Bleach? Though she nodded and stared at the floor. I can't stay here, I whispered. My landlady didn't say anything. We stood in shocked silence for a minute or two, and Toshi went to the fridge and got another beer. She popped the top, took a drink, and then opened her mouth as if she wanted to speak, but before she could, a hideous, ear-splitting laugh exploded through the apartment. It was Alexa, and she was still unplugged.